Do you remember the 2011 finals? Dirk's revenge? LeBron's first failure, Rick Carlisle's long-awaited title. There were a lot of golden narratives waiting to be uplifted there. But honestly, our favorite memory of that layered grudge match was the 5'10" JJ Barea coming into the game and wreaking havoc on both ends of the court filled with titans of the game. It was that weird balance of inspiring and fun that draws you into a team you've never rooted for. A jolt of electricity that pulls you out of apathy and makes you an active viewer. Something only one kind of player in one exact sport could do, the Sparkplug. The player who watches from the bench with his warmups on, before jetting to the scorer's table after a quick glance from his head coach and flipping the game on its head. Steals in the backcourt, sudden pull-ups in the halfcourt, a constant blur of hustle and effort, accented by the wide-eyed audacity of someone who never leaves a clip empty. It's a special archetype, and like any archetype, there are levels to it. Up-and-coming second-unit X-Factors have to earn their stripes, and as they do, they see their responsibilities change. Then, their opportunities do too. Gradually, with each crowd eruption caused, those bench warriors go from restricted cogs to free-flowing attackers tasked with standing toe-to-toe against stars when the moment calls for it. Because for every Malik Monk, Jose Alvarado, or TJ McConnell, there's a process behind the spark, a transformation that starts the same way every time, by making something happen.
Drives on him, Marquez. Deep three. Got it again. Turn it up, Malik.
When Jose Alvarado got his chance with the Pelicans, he knew he had to think outside the box. He wasn't a high-volume scorer. He didn't have the burst to reliably collapse a defense. And at 6 feet tall, he was never going to be a lockdown defender in a league that keeps getting taller. In the face of those overwhelming disadvantages, Alvarado adopted a classic approach with a new age twist. The former Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket became an irritant, a hyper-aggressive pickpocket set on earning his team extra possessions. And he did that by waiting in the corner, ducking just a little bit, and bursting over to rip the ball away from unsuspecting point guards. It wasn't a game-breaking adaptation. Teams weren't putting his name at the top of the scouting report because he was getting some obnoxious steals. But since inventing the Grand Theft Alvarado, the savvy floor general has become a fixture in New Orleans, a fan favorite capable of making the right play at the right time, usually in the form of causing a turnover to spark or punctuate a momentum-shifting run. At this point, it's almost hard to imagine Pelicans basketball without Alvarado hiding in the corner after a made basket. But at the same time, those limitations we mentioned earlier have prevented him from taking the next step in the rotation through this point in his career. In order to earn some of those extra minutes, he'll need to find a way to bring a little bit more dynamism to the other side of the floor, something our next game changer has done consistently. Ayo Dosunmu has never really fit the hyper-optimized mold that the NBA is asking non-stars to move towards. He isn't an extremely versatile or constant three-point shooter, and he doesn't look like he's being fully utilized when he's drifting off ball. Those aren't flaws, but they're playstyle intricacies that belong to a different era. Fortunately for Dosunmu, players who can conjure angles out of thin air and get downhill whenever they want will have a place in this league, especially when they can take advantage of the space they create. Chicago's source of instant offense doesn't need a setup to get going. A good ball screen is great, and in limited opportunities, he's shown us that he knows how to set up defenders in the two-man game, but tossing him the ball and spacing the floor is enough to constitute a good possession when things are falling. That kind of microwave creation has been recognized as valuable since Vinnie Johnson's days in Detroit, but now the latest championship blueprint hinges on rosters with switchable defenders and quick-footed big men. Guys who can go to work against anyone are the glitches in in the system. They negate switches, forego matchup hunting entirely, and force defenses into rotation without needing some ingenious action or well-executed play to free them up. Ayo Dosunmu's game isn't modern. It's ripped straight from the early 2000s. A slashing-oriented attack built on ingenuity, decisiveness, and the ability to play through contact. Simply put, there's no way to outsmart that. Defenders just have to play it really well, and that's much easier said than done. Now it's worth noting that Dosunmu hasn't nailed the consistency part just yet. He has nights where it all looks effortless, and then nights where everything just looks painful. That's fine though. He's only 25, and his best basketball is still in front of him. But if he wants to become a mainstay in the Windy City, then there's a newly minted New Yorker he could learn a lot from. There's something about the jittery quickness and unabashed confidence that Jordan Clarkson's always had that strikes a healthy fear into opposing fans. There are trade-offs that come with him. The defense can be lackluster, and the occasional variance in his scoring output will always keep the former 6th Man of the Year out of the starting lineup. But off the bench, Clarkson is a nuclear threat. Getting by the first defender is really a formality for him, which makes sense when you remember that his first step should come with an over-the-top action-style animation attached to it. Nevertheless, a lot of guards in the league can blow by the perimeter line. What makes Clarkson different is the IQ to quickly process the way the defense reacts, and the skill to reliably pull up from any spot on the floor. He's got a level of comfortability in the lane that puts coaches at ease, and that's exactly why so many of them have trusted him with the keys to the offense for minutes at a time. That might sound inconsequential, but just about every NBA champion ever had at least one guy who could come in cold and carry the offense in a crucial stretch. Someone who looks like a star on the right nights, and Clarkson does. In the right situation, that's when a spark plug goes from a passing player to a player that even passing fans remember. Clarkson hasn't fully done that yet, but this is probably the best opportunity he's had. If he takes advantage, the Mecca will make him feel like a Broadway icon, and it's not unrealistic for him to thrive in a Mike Brown offense. But while we give it some time to play out, let's talk about a small market hero fighting the good fight. In 2023, Malik Monk was the runner-up for 6th Man of the Year on a magical Kings team. Since then, the team's management has pressed all the wrong buttons, and now their directional confusion keeps Monk far away from the spotlight. But the former failed lottery pick never gave up on lighting that damn beam. We know what's gone down in California's capital in the last couple years. It's been a royal fiasco filled with rumors, betrayals, and departures. But through all of it, the most consistent public servant in the city of Sacramento has been wearing number 0 for the Kings. Monk is a live wire with the ball in his hands, capable of darting through defenses like a stray surge dancing through a current. He can win from outside, mid-range, or at the cup, whether the rim protector is there or not. That development was welcomed but expected. Back in his days at Kentucky, Monk made it incredibly obvious he could score, but his progress as a playmaker has shocked even the most optimistic early investors. By now, the Kings can rely on him to go out there and full-on carry the offense for bursts at a time, something most teams would only ask a max contract player to do. His scoring arsenal is arguably all-star level. His vision would be advanced for a point guard, and still his most impressive trait is his professionalism. Whether he's been off, on, hasn't played, or started the game, Malik Monk will come through for Sacramento when the team needs him, and don't let their record during his time there overshadow his quiet dedication to the game. So next time a Kings fan starts rambling about their 6th man and how underrated he is, know that they aren't desperate or delusional. They know exactly who their team is, but they know exactly who Malik Monk is, and as loyal supporters, they won't let his accomplishments go unnoticed. There really isn't much of a way to level up past the peak Malik Monk has reached in this specific role. There are only bigger stages with better rewards for excelling in that role, and that brings us to Indiana. Last year, the Pacers evolved into a robotically efficient team on both ends of the court, and one of the best stories of their rise was everyone's favorite resentful underdog, TJ McConnell. McConnell checks every box anyone could ask for a game-altering wizard, even the unimportant ones. He has a mind that's constantly finding advantages, feet quick enough to give NBA athletes problems, and a motor that runs on pure willpower. That would make him a franchise legend in his own right. But when you combine it with a style of play that goes against every pillar of data-backed basketball, it reaches new heights. McConnell doesn't shoot threes. He isn't athletic enough to score without being one step ahead of everyone, and his frame prevents him from living an easy life in the interior. Those are like the 3 deadly sins of new age guard play, and that Midwest folktale has overcome all of them by shooting 10-footers with more efficiency than anyone, while warping defenses with a weirdly accurate Steve Nash driving impression. An undersized point guard with that playstyle being an essential part of a final squad makes as much sense as a samurai destroying a tank. It flies in the face of everything we know about the way time evolves, and anything profound enough to stand up to the laws of our universe is inspiring. We all saw it last year. The magic of an unheralded gladiator playing in a coliseum that lives for the spirit of the fight. That right there, the ovations for McConnell in Game 3 and 6. That's the coronation of a reputation. The final level of reverence anyone who fills that special role can reach. A plane of subversive greatness so unifying, it brings people everywhere together, all to appreciate a mortal man wreaking havoc in a game defined by titans. And we can't wait to see who wears a cape under their warm-ups next. Thank God, basketball is back.